when all is said and done, I'm either going to look like a genius or a complete idiot. Okay, here we go. The 2025 Arnold Classic Top 6 Predictions. I'm either going to look like a genius or a complete idiot. Here we go. I have 9 people I'm going to mention. Obviously, 9 people can't be in the top 6. Only 6 of them are going to be there, but the other 3 I do feel will fall 7th, 8th, and 9th. And I do think that any one of them could possibly, depending on some variables, could possibly push their way into the top 6 and knock somebody out. Either way, I think they're going to fall most likely 7th, 8th, 9th positions. And I think it can go any order. First one I'm going to mention is Carlos Thomas Jr. It's a little unfortunate because when you look at him, he has all the tools to be battling for the top spots. Shape, structure, muscle mass, super wide shoulders, massive quad, small waist. He has a health issue. He deals with colitis, and it can affect your conditioning. It can affect it very seriously. And I don't know if it's something that has passed or it's going to be, if it's chronic, and he'll be dealing with it the rest of his life. I am not 100% confident that everything is all fine and dandy, and I have to put him outside the top 6 under those circumstances. But like I said when I started off, he has all the tools to be battling for the top. He needs to be able to bring in a certain level of conditioning, and it would all shine. At this moment now, I have him outside the top 6. This next one is a little sentimental for me. I was a big fan of him all these years. I've watched him compete. William Bonac. Yes, it definitely looks like he's made somewhat of a comeback. He never really left. He's looked rejuvenated. At one point, he looked like he was slipping away, and all of a sudden, things seem to turn around. Problem is, he was never the prettiest physique up there. He brought a level of muscularity, density, conditioning, and he was not missing any body parts. And the combination of all those together made him very, very dangerous. Unfortunately, even though he does look rejuvenated to a degree, it's a strong lineup, and my gut tells me that, and I hate to say it, like I said, I've always been a big fan of his. I don't think he's going to be able to bring enough to make the top 6. James Hollingshead. He looks like he's on track to being the best James we've ever seen on stage. Him too. he's not very pretty to look at up there, but he carries a level of muscularity, he carries a good amount of muscle. And even though he's not the prettiest physique up there, he does have nice round muscle bellies. He's been working with Stefan Kenzo like quite a few people are these days. And if he can really nail his conditioning, he can push somebody out of that top 6 spot. It's always been an issue with conditioning. Yes, he has a new coach, a new approach, but until I see it, I'm still going to be a little skeptical. That gets rid of my 7th, 8th, 9th, 6th place. And it's unfortunate because under other circumstances, he would place higher. Shaun Clarida, at the end of the day, his 5'2" height, 180 pounds, is going to work against him. It shouldn't work against him, which when you look at the criteria for judging a bodybuilding competition, I don't see anything about height or weight in with that criteria they're looking for. But once again, I think it's going to have a role. I think it's going to be a major factor in where they place him. And it is a very competitive lineup to boot. Shaun Clarida, 6th place. This one's going to get me some negative comments, I'm sure. I stand by it. Andrew Jack will be 5th place. I know some people are pegging him much higher. Some people even had him battling Sampson and even winning. First off, I'm going to bring up a video that was posted not that long back with him training. Definitely something to look quite right with the arms. We're not going to get into all that now. But when I look back on some pictures on his more recent competitions, I'm questioning things. What are the judges going to see? And on top of that, I don't think he's improved over the last couple of years. He's more or less stayed the same. He's placed fifth place 2 years in a row at the Olympia, and Martin Fitzwater, who he's beaten twice before that, jumped right past him. I don't think he's improved. He might be a little bigger, but not improved. There are weaknesses, and next to the rest of the lineup, I have ahead of him. I think these weaknesses are going to be exposed. 4th place, and I think he has the potential to go up a little higher if the judges don't hold one pose against him. Akeem Williams, yeah, he has high lats. I've said this before. He has high lats, but the only pose that affects him in is the back double biceps. From the front lat spread, from the double biceps, it is not an issue whatsoever. He's terrific from the side, and he has a good back lat spread, one pose. But for some reason, that and his conditioning hasn't been consistent. They show, prejudging the finals, he seems to be playing catch-up in finals. In a previous video, I said this might be an advantage to him because the Arnold is done in one day, prejudging and finals. But I heard somebody else saying something else. So I'm really not sure on that. Either way, Akeem Williams, if he brings in the conditioning that he's brought in the last few shows, both for the prejudging and the finals, and the judges don't hold one, don't put so much weight on one pose that is very weak for him, he is going to battle, at least in my opinion, he's going to battle for the top placings. I wouldn't have said this a few weeks ago, but maybe little birds whispered in my ear. I just got a gut feeling that Brandon Curry is going to shock a lot of people. He's going to grab that third place spot. I keep in mind, yes, he did falter a bit this past Olympia. The previous Olympia, just remember this, he was in the hospital less than 48 hours before he stepped on stage. He still placed fourth at the Olympia. He had a bad year this past Olympia. There were some issues with his preparation. New coach didn't have the time that, new coach, he has a new coach now also, but at that time, previously he was working with Abdullah, and he stopped working with Abdullah. He was working with somebody else in Kuwait. Started the prep a little bit late. Excuse me, things didn't work out all too well. Totally different environment now. He's training at home, new coach, new approach, and he does look like he is rejuvenated. He has no injuries throughout his career, at least nothing that we know of. Listening to him, looking at some of his update pics, seeing him, the most recent images of him in the gym, he's looking like the old Brandon and then some. Don't count the old man out. I have Brandon Curry, third place. About a week ago, I still didn't have next one in the top two, but going back and forth on it, Derek Lunsford. I'm a little hesitant on it, but at the end of the day, I think we're going to see Derek Lunsford take that second place spot. How much he's going to be improved from when we saw him on the stage last. Keep in mind, he's working with Chris Aceto. I don't know how much improvements we're going to be able to see in that period of time. But at the end of the day, I think we'll end up securing that second place spot. Is it going to be a tight battle between him and my first place pick, Samson Dowda? Once again, I got a gut feeling, and it says to me, probably not. I think that Samson is going to, at the end of the day, Samson is going to walk away with a somewhat convincing victory at this Arnold Classic. That's my top 6 for the show. First place, I have Samson Dowda. Second place, I have Derek Lunsford. Third place, I have Brandon Curry. Fourth place, I have Akeem Williams. Fifth place, I have Andrew Jack. Sixth place, I have Shaun Clarida. And somewhere, seventh, eighth, ninth, we're going to have William Bonac, James Hollingshead, and Carlos Thomas Jr. Like I said at the beginning of this video, when all is said and done, I'm either going to look like a genius or a complete idiot. You can agree or disagree with anything I've said. Please let me know in the comment section. This is Michael Diamond. I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.